Hi everyone, welcome back to Scrap Happiness Studio for a second video on replacing broken zippers. In the first video, I showed how easy it is to replace a broken zipper in a simple garment like this by simply tearing off the teeth and then inserting a new zipper from behind. And but in the video itself, I demonstrated on a jacket with a wind flap that I was trying to preserve, which was challenging. But I think I found an easier way to do it that I'll demonstrate on my son's jacket here, it's a much more complex jacket. It has a wind flap and it has a second zipper in it for zipping in a lining. But the procedure is going to be the same. And I've assembled, you can do this with scissors, but it's easier to do it with a good sharp seam ripper, like clover rippers. And I've assembled a bunch here because you really do need a sharp one. And to get started, let's see, I think I will start this with scissors. So once you get it started, then you remember you always want to use your seam ripper ball side down because the ball opens the seam for you to help prevent disastrous cuts. And you want to get as close to the jacket as you can. You can see with a nice, I'm not getting as close as would be ideal, but whoops. But it's pretty close. So I'm going to finish this on both sides and then I'll be back. Okay, so I have the zipper ripped out of both sides and I did get a small nick in here, which is unfortunate, but the ball isn't foolproof. You still have to be careful. And so you can see on this side, and in the earlier video I talked about how you purchase a zipper by the length of the teeth, and it's easiest if you get a zipper exactly the right length, although if you get it longer you can adjust. Actually, on a separating zipper, just buy the exact length of zipper, or slightly smaller if you can't get the exact length. But I was able to get the exact length online, and you can see on this side it's going to be easy for me to just insert this zipper behind and stitch it in. But this side has that wind flap. And if you watched my struggles with the last video, what I'm going to do with this one instead is cut the flap off, insert the zipper behind, and then sew the flap back on. And we'll see how well this solution works, but I think it'll work pretty well. The flap might be a little smaller, a little shorter, but if I feel that's important, I can always add a little extra fabric on before I sew it back on. And again, this is not the fine tailoring technique. Our zipper tape's not going to be buried in the seam like it is on the original construction. But our goal here is to get a good garment functional again. Okay, so I'm going to tear this strip off. I don't know if I'll use, I think I'll try it with the seam ripper and see how well that works. Get it started with scissors. And I showed on the earlier video how you can use your sewing machine as a third hand to hold this taut for you. Oh, I'm not getting all the way through. There's some, oh shoot, there's some interfacing in there. Another repair job, but luckily that'll be hidden. All right, I'm going to convert to scissors here. I'll just patch that up with some iron-on patch. That's the interesting thing doing something like this where you only have one shot at it. You can't do an easy redo. And I think this is going to help me up here with this nice fold over flap that protects your neck from sharp zipper parts, but I could not rip it out from there. And boy, I don't know if my machine's going to be able to get through this. That's really thick. I don't know, we'll have to cross that bridge when we come to it. All right, so my plan here is to... Oh, here it is. My plan here is to go ahead and put this zipper. I encourage my son to get this double-ended zipper because it makes it easier to get stuff out of a pants pocket. So I'm going to baste this zipper in on both sides and sew it in, and I'll have to see how that's going to work up at the top because there's no way my machine's going to go through that. All right, I will be back in a moment. So here's my solution to what I'm doing here. I cut off 5 of the teeth, and then I found a strip of scrap leather. Polar fleece would work. I meant to say ultra suede, but polar fleece also would work. You just need something at the top here to serve as a new zipper stop. And whenever you've taken that top zipper stop off, be careful that you don't, well, you don't want to take the slide off unnecessarily. Although, from my understanding, get it back on. So what I'm going to do is that, and then sew that back on, and then I'll repeat that on the other side. Because... anyway, I already tested to make sure my machine can sew through this, and it can. So that's good. All right, I will be back. Hi, I tested the video. I should have basted the zipper in first. Instead, I just sewed it right in, but basting is really a good idea. I wonder clipped it in, and that was adequate. And I was concerned because on most zippers, when you run that up there will be no residue left, which is really good. But on this one, because there was that interface zipper with the plastic coating on it, I've got some residue left, and I was afraid that was going to get stuck in the teeth, but fortunately it isn't. So I'm going to, again, cut off getting the slide out of the way. I think you can put the slides back on, but I'm not positive about that. So what I had done before was take off 5 teeth. So I'm going to do that again. And wrap the top of the zipper again with leather and sew it in like that on the other side. And the other side's going to be easy because there's nothing in my way. Of course, there wasn't anything on my way on this side either. All right, so I will be back shortly. Well, I'm happy to report that the zipper went in easily and cleanly. So, and really, you could stop here now. The jacket is fully functional. But I'm going to try to figure out if I can put this wind flap back in. Now, because I can't sew through this up here, I'm going to have to shorten this wind flap, and I'm going to do that somewhere down in the center by taking I don't know, I'll probably take a seam in it and cut it, although that leaves raw edges. Anyway, I'll do something like that, and then just sew it in from behind here. So I'm trying to decide if actually, that'll be underneath and not visible. So maybe I'll just take a seam there to reduce bulk and make this just a little bit shorter. Okay, I'm going to work on that. So here's my plan. If you can see on the flap here, there's a stitching line there. I suppose now that I'm thinking about it, maybe I should go and zigzag that for a finer edge. Okay, I'll stop and go and do that. And then my plan is to just line this up with the edge of the zipper tape and sew it from the back. Because as long as it's done neatly in black thread, it should be fine on the front. I thought I was recording and I wasn't. So I started sewing this in as per my plan. But my thread broke and I have to stop and rethread. But it's going in fine, and I've already tested it, so I know it's going to zip up nicely. And there's still enough of a flap there, and it looks okay. So I think my son will be happy. So think about this next time you have to replace a zipper. Um, as I said, your jacket was functional without the wind flap. But if it's easy to put it in like this is, then go for it and rescue all those broken garments with broken zippers in your stash and in your wardrobe. And you help save the planet by reusing things instead of throwing them away. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye.